Hi everyone, it's Kristine with Indigo Wings. I'm happy to see you today. I have this week's reading for you. I decided to do my mini twin flame reading because I am just kind of going through like some allergy stuff and I don't feel like talking for a long time. And I'm actually hoping to get on and do a live video in my private Facebook group. So I'm just trying to kind of conserve energy and all that fun stuff. So, but I'm looking at the cards, I'm actually really glad that I decided to go with the mini reading because I still feel like the same information is coming across. So the reading is for October 2nd through the 8th. This week we do have a full moon. It's on October 5th. I think that's Thursday. Remember with the full moons that you can feel the energy a few days before, a few days after. So, just kind of be aware if you are more sensitive to what the moon's doing. I can be sensitive sometimes depending on where the full moons fall in my astrological chart. I can be more sensitive to them, and sometimes they don't affect me. So just, kind of be aware of that, because I do think a lot of people are going to be triggered this week with this full moon. Oh, and the other thing that I wanted to mention, we did have Pluto go direct last week as well. And, what's happening with that is that a lot of people are going to, in the next few weeks and months, are going to be moving forward kind of with like their destiny, with things that were already destined to do, particularly in the areas of careers and relationships, is, like really in a very small nutshell what I've been seeing. So that's that. So with the mini twin flame reading, I actually did like a little add-on at the end for you guys. I pulled an oracle card. I don't do that in the mini reading. I pulled a card for the feminine energy. I pulled a card for the masculine energy. There's a card for combined energies, and then a card for the near future. So just kind of hop right in. The card that came up for the feminine energy, and I'm going to talk about it a little bit as I'm talking about these things, but one of the things that I noticed as I was going through this, there are a ton of 4s in this reading. And the thing that's really standing out to me in terms of the number 4 is, 4 for patience. I think, what I'm getting is a lot, there's a feeling of stagnation, particularly for the divine feminine. They're feeling very stagnant. And, you just have to remember that a lot of what's going on here is just what needs to happen. People need to go through certain experiences and learn certain lessons for themselves, and that can't be skipped. It can't be rushed. And you need to be patient, basically. And I mean, I've heard it so many times that I'm almost sick of hearing it, and so I hate to say it, but we just have to remember that everything happens in divine timing. When the time is right, things will things will happen, and things will line up so perfectly that you'll, later on, when you look back at it, you'll be like, oh, I see why it had to happen that way. So the cards that come up for the Divine Feminine, 2 cards came out. We have Opportunity Beckons, and we have Heart Chakra. Now, what I'm getting from Opportunity Beckons, if you look at the person who's in this card, they're, looking over this railing, and, there's this air of just like they've been carrying the world, the weight of the world on their shoulders, and they're discouraged. They feel like they've been having a lack of success with the effort that they've been putting toward their divine masculine, and they're exhausted, they're tired, they're like, how much more effort can I keep putting into this person? They're very disillusioned, and what's happening with that is that it's lowering your vibration. It's taking you into a low vibrational energy, and when that happens, you're closing off your heart center, you're closing off your heart chakra. And so when that happens, you're in a place that when you are given love or shown love by your divine masculine, you're not open to receiving it. You're not able to see it. You're not able to see the efforts. And in a way, like, you can be at risk for turning that away, if you're not open to what they're willing to give. It's important for the divine feminine here. You have an opportunity, you have time, you have to raise your vibration, do things, work on things to raise your vibration. And I have seen personally in multiple different circumstances with the twin connection that if one twin is in a very low and negative vibration, it affects how the other one is. And so, if the feminine is in this state of discouragement and disillusionment and is resentful, those are all, low vibration energies. If they're angry, blaming, that's going to bring their masculine twin down as well. But if the divine feminine focuses more on activities that help to put them in higher vibration, and they focus on staying in that high vibration, just because you are connected, that will help your masculine twin be in a place of having a higher vibration as well. And I've seen it. I've seen how the energies play off of each other. I hope that made sense, because as I was saying it, I'm like, I don't know if I'm getting this across the way that I'm meaning to. The clarifying card that I pulled here is the Six of Air, which is indicating that, things are going to get better. Things are going to look up. This difficult situation, this difficult time period will be coming to an end. So, if you can be patient and hold out and stay in your heart center, live from your heart center, don't get pulled down into the drama and the muck, things will look up, things will get better. And the six is also another number that repeats not as much as the 4, but it's the other repeating number in this reading. And 6 is a number of loyalty and peace, compromise. And so, just because, again, and I feel like I've said this so many times, just because things don't look the way you think they should look, take a step back and, look at the bigger picture. Where has there been compromise? Where has loyalty been shown in this connection? Where have they risked quite a bit to maintain the connection with you? I really feel like with the feminine, it's important to, again, maintain that high vibration. And it's easy to get dragged down, especially when, people don't do the things that they say they'll do. You feel let down, you feel disappointed, you feel angry, there's jealousy, there's all of those emotions, which are, it's human nature. They're normal. But, you are in a unique situation where, you have a duty, you have a mission for yourself to rise above those things, not just, for your connection, not just for your twin, because really that's secondary. It's for you, for yourself, because it's improving who you are as a person. So the card that comes up for the masculine is Shine. And there's like two things that I'm getting with this card. For some of the masculine twins, they're, in this place of like, so, this card always, whenever I see it, it just reminds me of somebody who is like, okay, surrender, and in a good way, like, okay, it's a positive energy. But what I'm also getting from this card is that a lot of people are, they're feeling like they are, they're having like realizations about who they are, what they're meant to be doing. They are, this is kind of like, I'm getting like a believe and receive, or not receive, believe and succeed vibe. And this is in regards to relationship. And, I do believe that this is in regards to their twin flame. Because this card is the Lovers. We have the 6 again. It's so, I believe that this is a person that, they do feel very loyal to, a person that they feel very connected to, that there's an intimacy there that they may not have necessarily expressed, but it exists. And, this card to me is showing like there's a going within and like contemplation, because I feel like there's like a breakthrough happening of seeing and realizing the potential of this relationship. And the divine masculine may not realize it, but this is like, they are completely supported and completely surrounded by positive energy. So, you know, if they want to move forward, they can. You know, they have what they need to move forward. I don't know, though, that very many of them feel like they can. I don't think many of them are feeling this positive energy around them. You know, I think that they have to spend some more time kind of contemplating on it. You know, and I feel like the divine feminine always kind of assumes that they're the ones who are always thinking about the situation. Like, I feel like people don't give the divine masculine enough credit that, you know, they really do put thought into this. And, you know, I'm getting from this that there is thought and contemplation. You know, they're being careful about their decision making here. They're not making any rash decisions or movement. You know, they're really being very cautious and thoughtful, all while, you know, seeing all the possibilities that are there. You know, the Shine card is a really very positive card. But, you know, in terms of interaction, I am feeling like this is a lot of internal stuff that's going on for the divine masculine. And I don't know if you can hear the ice cream truck going by right now. The little dingly dinging. So you might hear some of my children crying if someone told them that they couldn't have ice cream. The ice cream truck is the devil and the bane of my existence. Anyways, so I didn't hear anybody scream yet, so I don't know, but sometimes it takes a few minutes. Okay, so the next card that comes up, this is the combined energy, is flow. And, you know, so this is both the masculine and the feminine. You know, what I'm getting with this is, you know, like like acceptance. You know, there's desire to move forward, but just kind of taking everything just one step at a time, one day at a time, each thing as it comes. You know, the hand is on the heart space, you know, indicating that there's great feeling. There's, you know, a lot of emotion and love. But it's like both realize that there's only so much that can be done right now. You know, and I think for every situation, you all know why that is. Every situation, you know, and just in terms of the people that talk to me and my clients, so many situations are so complicated. You know, it's not just going to be better with the snap of a finger. There's a lot of stuff. So, you know, it's like this, you know, I have to chill. I have, you know, like a card of patience. You know, acceptance of this is where we're at. In some cases, I'm feeling some resignation about that. You know, but it's like both the divine masculine and divine feminine, you're both just trying to get through each day as it comes, because it's just a roller coaster. And between your personal lives of what you do in your day-to-day and then your twin flame stuff, it's just like you can't even think too far ahead at the moment. And so you just know that, you know, you really just have to just take one day at a time and just go with the flow, literally. The clarifying card here is the Four of Earth. And so this is a card of extremes. To me anyways, that's how I interpret this card. We have, it's another 4. So, you know, all the 4 stuff. And, you know, this is like being too much of something on this end or too much of something on this end. You know, there's a need to come into the middle. There's a need to balance the extremes. And, you know, I've been seeing this a lot in readings that I'm doing for people on my end. And I've been seeing this a lot in the community, that there's a need for balance. And I think that that's kind of what I was trying to convey as I was talking about the flow card, is you know, each of you, the masculine and the feminine, you barely have enough to get through each day, and balance is really necessary. So how do you get that balance? I don't know. I didn't go that detailed. That's something, you know, take some time, go within yourself, do some meditating. You know, reflect on where you feel out of balance in your life, and, you know, how you can come into a place where you feel better about that. Let's see. Oh, and you know what I also wanted to mention? With the Shine card for the masculine and flow, so Shine is a 19. 19 breaks down to a 1. Flow is a 10, breaks down to a 1. 1, new beginnings. You know, and I do feel like with where this is going, that is what we are going to be seeing. I feel like with the energies that we just read, like there's like a heaviness, you know, that we need to move that heavy energy out. And so I think what's going to be I think I know what's going to be happening. So the near future, we have release. So this is a 13, another 4, and then we have detach. And so what I'm seeing with the detach card, now a lot of times when I'm reading this card, this is like literally I'm telling people you need to let go. And in a sense, this is a message of needing to detach and to let go. But you know where you're going to be letting go? This is going to be that you're letting go of something within you. You're going to be detaching from something that you've been hanging on to within yourself that has been holding you back. You know, this is going to be something that's ego related. What I think is going to be happening is you are going to be triggered around the new moon, or not new, full moon. And, you know, the triggering hopefully will lead you to a place of reflection. Because really, you know, I mean, it sucks to be triggered, but we're triggered all the time. You know, I was triggered by something last week, And it actually put me in a place where, you know, I learned a lesson and was able to move into a place of gratitude and sharing my gratitude with someone. You know, so as much as we don't like to be triggered, it's really good for us, because it helps us to reflect on the things that we do need to detach from. And it helps us to move through some of these heavy energies that we need to let go of. And so we have release. You know, release is going to be the shedding of those energies, shedding of the things that we need to let go of. It's going to be that transformation, you know, the freedom, and moving into a place of feeling lighter and, you know, feeling more empowered, because you'll no longer be carrying whatever it was that you were carrying. And, you know, and I think for many people, you know, and this could be on either side. This could be on the feminine side, this could be on the masculine side, this could be both of you. You know, there's going to be a letting go of expectations and shedding beliefs and behaviors that no longer serve you. What I see happening, so we have the 2 of air and we have the 5 of air. And so the 2 of air, basically, you know, do you see the 2 unicorns? They're like butting heads. Like, they're literally like, you're going to be butting heads with somebody. My guess in many cases, it's going to be your twin, because nobody triggers us more. If it's not your twin, it you know, might be your karmic partner, you know, or somebody who's very close to you, you know, soulmate or somebody, but you're going to be butting heads with somebody and it's going to trigger you. And the other card is the 5 of air. You know, instead of, you know, ranting and raving and being pissed and holding a grudge or how, you know, anything like that, go inward. You know, feel your feelings, have your tantrum, but the 5 of air is learn what you can about this situation. So not so much like, you know, well, what was everybody's motives in this situation? And, you know, why were they doing that? Or why were they doing that? No. That's not important. Learn what you can about yourself, about your connection, about like what's going on with you. That's all you need to know. It's all about you and your growth and all of that. Because and why I'm saying, like, you know, don't read into people's motives or anything like that, because, you know, and I'm just going to use this as, you know, in terms of a twin flame example. You know, if you're trying to look into, you know, you get into an argument or something with your twin flame, or say, you know, for a female, the twin says he'll do something and he doesn't do it, or says he'll call and he doesn't. And she starts talking to other people or trying to find out what he was doing when he didn't call, or, you know, starts digging into it and finds out, you know, I don't know, he wasn't where he said he was, or some, you know what I mean? Like, do you see where I'm going with this? Like, some of it, those aren't really things that I typically do, so I'm having a hard time coming up with ideas, but, and I'm not saying anything's wrong with those behaviors, because we all have those moments where we go a little bonkers. But when we're trying to get to a person's motives of, you know, well, he didn't call me back because, well, he must have been talking to some other girl at this party and they went and hooked up and they did this and they blah, 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 blah. We start making up stories in our heads, and those narratives maybe they're true, but a lot of time they're usually off base, and maybe there's just like a tiny piece of truth in them. And you know, that's something that we have, like, that's something we have to let go of. So for some of you, if that's like really resonating with you, that's something you need to learn to let go of, is, you know, all those little crazy details that don't matter. You know, learn what you can about what triggers you, reflect on it, learn what you can about it, so that you can work through it and release it. And you might have to do it more than once, you know, before you fully let go of something. But the more you do it and the more you go through it, it's going to get easier and easier and easier. And eventually it's gone. And that's one of the reasons that we have these connections. I truly believe it is for our own personal growth. You know, our twins reflect to us things that we need to work on in ourselves. And so many people are not, they're missing that. And I know many people maybe don't want to hear me say that, but they're missing that huge piece and neglecting that growth. And when they do that, I think you're just hurting yourself. So that's kind of why I'm like emphasizing that. So the Oracle card that I pulled here is Why, which I thought was really appropriate, for lack of a better word, you know, because I feel like I can hear so many people saying, well, why do I have to do this? Why do I have to go through this? Why do I have to raise my vibration? Why can't I give up? Why can't I do that? And I would just like to point out that this card's a 31, another 4. So the 4 is all over this reading. So, you know, a huge piece of this is the patience. So the essential meaning of this card is motives driving intention and the power of knowing the why. So here's the relationship message. We don't always know why we engage in our relationships in the way we do, mostly because our feelings aren't always logical. Now is the time to recognize whether you are being triggered by someone else or if your behavior is motivated by unresolved issues in the past. When you ask yourself, why am I feeling this and why did I say that, and spend some time in introspection, the questions may be surprising. Listen to the messages from your intuition, from the knowing deep within you. What does it tell you about yourself and others? In the end, life is all about being loved. Miracles and deep understanding of your need and how to get them met are the buried treasures of the why. Uncover them by posing the most powerful question you can ask yourself and your partner today. Why? So I hope you guys heard what I was just reading, because it basically was in another way just talking about what I was just talking about in terms of the, you know, what's going to be happening in the near future, where people are going to be triggered and needing to reflect on what that situation was for them, and what, you know, needing to look within and ask themselves questions about it and what it's going to teach them. And I feel like, again, what I just talked about just answered a huge question for so many of you. Why twin flames? Why? This is why. We need to come into a place where we move through our baggage and our issues, because if we don't take care of these things before we are in a physical union with our twins, it's gonna not go well. like, it's just not going to go well. You repel each other. If we need to do this work on our own, and as you do this work on your own, it will get better and better and better. And some of you say, well, what if we don't end up together? If you don't end up with your twin, but you've been doing all of this stuff, working on your stuff, and you truly move into this place of acceptance and pure, true self-love, you're going to be in a place of acceptance that you were not meant to be with your twin flame. You're going to be okay with it. You're not going to ask that question. Do you know what I mean? But I'm getting ahead of myself with that. Don't worry about that right now. Focus on what we just talked about. Focus on getting through this week. Focus on, if you are the one who gets triggered, and working through that, reflecting and moving through that energy, and then clearing that energy. So that's what I've got for you guys this week. I hope it was helpful for you. If this reading resonated with you, great. If this reading did not resonate with you, don't worry about it. It's not the message for you. If it did resonate with you and you want a reading with me, please check out my website at indigowings.com. Sorry. You can also find me on Facebook, facebook.com/indigowings. And my email is indigowings.healing@gmail.com. And I think that's all I've got for you guys. I hope that you have a wonderful week. I'm hoping to get my paid content out very soon. And until next week, I will see you soon. Bye.